Welcome back, Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. You like the tan?
Oh, I like it.
Starting to peel on the nose a little bit here.
Yeah, well, you're looking good. You're looking good.
Outside a little bit.
I golfed 36 holes there last Thursday.
Milwaukee Mile 10 going on here. Looking at what happened at Crosse Speedway last weekend, we had a first, and we had a real close Thunderstock race. We're going to go to the highlights now. Lacrosse late models came out. The Honey Badger Brent Kirshner still leads the way in the point standings, but your feature winner is tightening things up at Lacrosse. Brad Powell this night belonged to the very fast 43. Had a nice shootout going on here between he and obviously the king of the short track, Steve Carlson. I mean, look how close they were trying to get into each other in the corners.
Yeah, and I think Brad Powell is out. He's finally got the money that he wanted to be able to run a full season. And him and Carlson, it just might come down to those two. I know that there's going to be a bunch of other guys in the mix, but those two just seem to have things rolling right now. Kirshner is probably going to be in the mix as well.
Well, Kirshner leads Brad Powell by 5 points, 11 better than Jay Herbst, 13 better than Todd Korsch. Sean Paff rounding on the top 5. The rest of the top 10 would be Mike Carlson, Matt Henderson, Cole Howland, Bill Niles, who picked up a heat race win, and Steve Carlson. Carlson, as always, can be taking some other time off through the race season here. So everything is going Kirshner's way so far. Down to the Sportsman, and this has been a fantastic class so far this year. Aaron Haas and his father, Randy, have came out. They decided to run a full season lacrosse this year. Aaron has been ultimately fast this season, and he cruised around and picked up his first feature. Look at all the power that was sitting up here with Schreck and Arneson and Schermerhorn and Humfeld. I mean, the battle was on from the beginning of this one.
And these guys, the guys that you just named, are the heavyweights in the division. And Aaron was one of the better drivers there a couple of years ago, and he's just kind of picking it up. I think he spent most of the offseason last season tweaking his car to come out and really show somebody what he can do this season.
Well, Greg Scheck had won a heat race that night. If you look at Jake Arneson trailing in third, he was the quick time qualifier. Topped Randy Humfeld and Rick Schermerhorn, as a matter of fact, and went on for his first feature of 2012. Randy Humfeld, a 14-point lead over Matt England. Greg Scheck running third. Jake Arneson and Rick Schermerhorn running fourth and fifth. Haas, Logging, Martin, Hesselberg, and Bachman rounding out your top 10. To the Outlaws we go, and Jerry Ellsworth is going to be the man to beat this season. Not only did he have a clean sweep on the week number 1 when the Outlaws came out, he did it again. He was your quick time qualifier, he was your heat race winner, and he picked up a feature.
Boy, he's just got so much power on this small track. These Outlaws are so much fun to watch. I like that Chuck has this race at the end of the racing night, because this is when you get to see raw power.
Tell you what, who did a fantastic job in this class was Jason Bolster. Jason Bolster held off Tim Steinhoff for second place for about 5 or 6 laps. Of course, Bolster, a Thunderstock driver. But again, who's going to be Jerry Ellsworth this year?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Not going to happen out of this camp either. I'll tell you what, he's going to be tough to beat. He opened up an 11-point lead over Tim Steinhoff, Jason Bolster, Steve Roush, and Mark Chalet round out your top 5. Thunderstock race was real interesting. Dakota, I'm not the kid, Miller, was trying to pick up his first feature win and get into the points lead. All he had to do was go 3 turns and a front straightaway, but he kind of went down on Moore and gave way to Nathan One Car White, who picked up his first feature win ever at Lacrosse.
It's kind of nice to see Nathan get a win. I know he had some incredibly bad luck here a couple of weeks ago. Crashed in the race, and then his car fell off his hauler, taking it home. So it's kind of nice to see somebody get a little bit of good luck once in a while.
Well, Nathan's done a nice job this year, and he's running consistent in the points as well. Tom Luthi out of West Salem has a 2-point lead over Jordan Myers. Dakota Miller sitting back in third and ninth. Nathan White with a feature win is sitting 20 points back and forth. David Cavan rounding out the top 5. The rest of the top 10 will be Jason Bolster, Mike Peters, Jacinda Paff, Chris Weber, and Adam Orton. Jacinda Paff has been very impressive this year, going for Rookie of the Year. She raced, I think, 3 or 4 times last year on the Thunderstock track, but man, does she look good.
Yeah, and a few weeks ago we sat in the stands and watched the races, and I heard people around me talking about her. You know how everybody in the stands wants to pick a car? I heard people wanting to pick her, and they said, well, she's been doing a really good job. And I watched her. She's running clean lines, staying off of people's bumpers. I think she's someone who's seriously looking into learning and moving up.
Coming up this weekend at the Crosse Speedway, it's Smash-A-Rama. I love getting video highlights. We may be even taping the show out there. We're going to see how the logistics hold down, but Smash-A-Rama coming up. Check out Crosse Speedway SportsmanGo-Kart.com for more information. From the big track, we're going to go to the short track, the small track today, as we're going to talk a little go-kart racing. Never had an opportunity to get a go-kart driver in last year. This year, we are going to be doing it several times, and our guest on the program, who drives the City Auto Sales number 8, go-kart at the Coulee Go-Kart Raceway, Nate Butterfield joining us in the program. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Just spent 3 days with this guy in Milwaukee. Should we start telling some stories?
Not many clean ones.
Nate got a good crash course on what it's like to hang with a bunch of men during the day.
Yeah, but a bunch of racers to boot.
And it was funny is we're going to talk about go-karting with Nate here. We're going to talk a little bit about the Milwaukee Mile. You really enjoyed the experience of not only being there, but working on Brent Kirshner's car.
Yeah, it was really fun and a good learning experience.
Now, when you go out, obviously everybody has their assignments, and of course, if you don't know, Paul Butterfield, Norm, is Nate's father and one of the crew chiefs in the car. What were some of your responsibilities on that super late model every time he came in or every time he came off the track?
When my dad's checking the stagger and the rear tires, I usually have to jack up the back of the car and help refuel it.
And of course, I'm out there many times doing that, and obviously when Brent crashes to start off his practice day on Monday, you were doing quite a bit with the mallet and all kinds of different tools. He had stuff I didn't even know it existed tool-wise.
Yep. Yeah, it was, we weren't really prepared for that, so we had me running back and forth, and it was pretty fun.
That's an important part of any team. That really is.
Well, it really gets intense with him and his dad, too, because, I mean, this is father, son, but you're at the racetrack, right? There's a whole different story, but at the end of the day, it's an I love you son.
Yeah.
That was just part of the entire racing experience.
There's a dichotomy that ends up changing and evolving there in the course of minutes.
So did you have a good time?
Oh, yeah, it was really fun.
Are we going to Iowa?
I can't. It's truck races. They're the same weekend, so you have to be 18.
Right.
We'll get him in somehow. Nathan Butterfield joins us in the program. We're going to talk go-karting here in the next segment. Nate Butterfield and Outlaws. I'm Dan Dyker. Stay with us. More to come here on Seven Rivers Racing here on KQEG TV.